Hey guys, in this video we're going to go over getting started with Git, how to start a repo locally, how to save changes, and what's going on with your operating system, file system as that happens. So to install Git on a Mac, your best bet is to just install Xcode command line tools, and so you just type in git -- version and then hit enter and then follow whatever they say to do. On mine, it's already installed, so I just actually get the version, but just follow the instructions and you should be good to go. Now that you've got Git installed, let's kick off by setting up your user and email. So we'll go git config global user.name. Type in, for me, AJ Herleman. For you, whatever you want your user.name to be. And for me, git config -- global user.name to be, I'm going to put in, how about like ajherleman.teaches@gmail.com. So that's my stuff. You can type in your own. So now we're going to start off the folder that we are going to initialize the Git repository in. And I am already in it, but I will backtrack a little bit and show you how to do that. So you can see I'm in users, AJ Herleman, dev, teach, git project. Project is the one that we're going to start the project in. So I'll back out of that, go up a little bit, and then remove that. And so now I'm not in project anymore. I'm going to create the project folder and then move into it. And then I'm going to create the Git repository. So we'll just do git init. And so that's it. We've got our repository right there. So we're going to go into a Finder right here, navigate into there, and you can see in the folder there's this hidden directory called .git. If you can't view hidden directories, go ahead and Google how to view those. But once you can view them, there's that right there, and that wasn't present before I did git init. That was created when I created the repository, and this is just a regular folder that contains all of the magic that Git does in the background. So there's really no reason you should ever go into there. I've never personally opened one up and looked at it. It's just kind of like the inner workings of Git that helps you get from version to version and branch to branch of your project. So don't worry that it's there. Don't mess with it. And also know that if you go ahead and delete it, this is no longer a Git repository. This is just a regular folder once again. So we're going to undo that by initializing again. So git init, and boom, we've got a Git repository again. So let's go ahead and try and make our first commit on here. And commit is just a fancy word in Git land for save, but it kind of gets confusing if you can save to your hard drive, and you don't want to confuse that with like the type of saving you do in Git. So they have a special word for it, and it's called commit. So each Git commit has a hash associated with it, which uniquely identifies it. We'll get more to that later. But for now, let's just do our first commit. So we're going to make some file right here. Make sure I'm in the right directory. Yep, we're in the project. So we'll make some sort of file. And so I just, with the touch command, I just created some file called test right here. And so we do ls, and we see we have a file called test. You can see it in Finder up here as well. And right now you might think like, yeah, and I can just go ahead and commit that. But there's actually one more step involved. So you have to add files to staging before you commit them. This might seem like unnecessary right now, but it's going to be helpful later on when you're getting into like more complicated situations. So here's how you add something to staging. You can either do it by name, do like git add test, and then we can check on its status, like what's staged and what's not. So git status, and you can see we have a new file test. And if you're working on a Mac, you'll see this all the time, .ds_store. I'll get to ignoring those later, but just know that that's kind of a property of just dealing with the OS X operating system. But you can see we added this new file, and they even give you like a little handy like git rm cached file to unstage it. So I'll just show you how to do that. Git rm cached test, and then git status again. And you can see that it's not in staging right now because we just undid it. But we're going to add it back with a different approach. So git add period. And that just adds everything. And that's typically what I do to get everything into staging. So git status again. And unfortunately, we've added dsstore, which typically is bad practice, but just for the purpose of this demo, I'm going to let it slide this time. And we're going to commit it by doing a git commit -m, and -m means that's the option for message. We're just going to say first commit, and that's our message. Put it in quotes there. You can do single or double quotes. You can't actually commit things without a commit message anymore. I don't remember which version that changed in, but it's a requirement. You have to. And if you don't put any commit message in, it'll take you into Vim, and that's kind of confusing. So just put -m and put a commit message in. So there we go. We've got some files in there, and there wasn't actually any code in those files, but they're in there. We've got our first commit. So in general, you should try and make your commit messages be pretty verbose and pretty informative about what you did in that commit. In the future, when you have big complex projects and you're trying to sort through like hundreds of these things and see which one was the one that introduced that one weird bug that I know probably is the reason why our website is crashing right now, it's going to be nice to have like long, verbose, informative commit messages instead of like fixed bug or something like that. So don't do that. It's bad practice. Your coworker is going to hate you. So to prove that this last commit actually worked, we're going to go ahead and type in git log, and you can see that in the log we have this first commit right here. That's our commit message, first commit, and here's the date that it happened on, and here's that hash I was talking about earlier. So this hash right here uniquely identifies this commit. We'll go more into why that's useful later, but for now you can just know that this is basically the address of this commit. That's all for this video. Just to kick us off with Git a little bit, if you learned something, subscribe or comment. It's pretty easy, and it puts me in a good mood to see that people are getting value from this sort of stuff. If you're not bored yet, maybe click one of the other videos, maybe learn some more about Git. Hope to see you in the next video.